Everybody, can everyone hear me? Thank you so much, Penny. Thank you, everybody. I am here today to play you some of my songs from There Are Birds, which came out about a year and a half ago. And just to talk to you a bit about the making of the CD and the ideas behind some of the songs. So without further ado, you know me as a bird watcher, most of you guys. But in my other life, I'm a musician, and I've been playing music since I was 15. Well, I've been playing music really since I was like 8 years old, playing clarinet, but I consider drums kind of like the first real instrument I played for like rock and roll. So this is the first drum set I had when I was 15. Thank you, Dad. I know you're watching, so thanks for buying me that drum set. But even before that, I was bashing on things, and I was playing coffee cans. So in my first real band, I was the drummer for the Aquanettas. This is me with blonde hair. We had a record out in 1990 called There Are Birds. No, it's not. That wasn't the record. That's my record now. That record was called Love with the Proper Stranger. And we got to tour like everywhere, really. We toured so many places. We played in the United States, the UK, even the Shetland Islands. Unfortunately, that was way before I was a bird watcher, so I don't have any recorded birds from those areas, which is pretty much of a bummer. But what can you do? This is another little promo shot of us. This is me. I think I was 22 there. Oh my goodness. Here is another shot from an outdoor festival that we played in Baltimore. Cool day that was. So after the Aquanettas broke up, I joined a band called Psychic Penguin in the mid-90s as a backup vocalist and a percussion player. You know, the funny thing about that band name is it was, again, before I was a bird watcher. And then my next band, oops, I'm going to go back one slide. My next band right here was a band called Birdie. And again, before I was a bird watcher. So that was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. I was the lead singer for the band, and I was the songwriter. And we had 2 albums out on a label called Crop Duster. And that is when I met my husband, Bob Perry. We were both like co-owners of the label and with a bunch of other people, actually. And because it was like a cooperative, collective label, we were on the label and we co-owned the label. So we played in each other's bands, and Bob was the guitar player in Birdie. And he also produced my second Birdie CD, as well as the brand new CD, There Are Birds. So when we got married, like Penny said, in 2003, I moved from New York City, where I had been for like 20 years, to Englewood, New Jersey. And I don't know what I was doing online searching. I don't know what I was searching for, but something like made the Christmas bird count, the Audubon Christmas bird count pop up. And I was very intrigued, and I decided to go out by myself with a cheap pair of binoculars in my neighborhood, like not even knowing that you should join a count circle. I was just like, I'm going to go count birds. So I went out and I was looking at these little brown blobs, and I realized I couldn't even ID a house sparrow. I didn't know the ID points or anything. I knew they were common, but I just didn't know how to properly identify them. And that made me quite mad. So I went out the next day and I bought a Peterson guide. And I went out and ID'd the house sparrow, and that was it. That was, believe it or not, the house sparrow was my spark bird. And I even have a song on this record called House Sparrow. So as my passion for bird watching increased, I found that it was like more and more hard to go out until 2 in the morning playing music and getting up at 6 in the morning to go out bird watching. So I began birding more and playing music less until finally, in probably like 2011, I pretty much stopped playing music altogether. But a few years ago, the death of a former bandmate brought me back to performing. This is actually a shot from that gig, the tribute show for Adam. I slowly started singing backup again for other people and for other bands. And in the beginning of 2018, I was just sitting on my couch, and the first lines of the song Ruby Crowned Kinglet from my album came into my head. And I heard a melody along with that. And in like 45 minutes or so, the entire song was written, and I could like hear it in my head as if it was playing on the radio. And at that very moment, I knew we were going to make a whole song, a whole album about birds, because I wanted to combine my love of birds and my love of music. And I remember running down into the basement and yelling at Bob, like, we're going to make a record about birds. So I knew I wanted every song to have the title, to be titled with the name of a bird, which they all are, except for the last song, which is called Migration is Over. And really, that's just the genesis of the record. So now I'm going to play for you a song from the album, directly off the album. It's called Viri, and it references a local hotspot that you will probably all know, the Flat Rock Brook Nature Association. I know Penny's very familiar with that. So this is a true story about me visiting the center one spring and noticing a little Viri on the path. And I knelt down, and as most of you know, I can not only just watch birds, but I have to talk to them because I must talk to everything and make friends with them. So the little bird came closer and closer to me, and we just sat there for a while, and I was talking to it, and I went back a few times, like in the next few weeks, and that bird was in the same spot, and it was just sitting there, and I would talk to it, and it would come close to me. And I believe it was the same bird. If it wasn't, please don't tell me it wasn't. So what I'm going to do is play the song for you now, right off the album, and these are the lyrics. And I'm going to be doing probably I think it's 4 songs total from the record, and then 2 little clips of other songs throughout the presentation. I'll tell you the stories about them, and I'll be sitting right here playing the music, and I'll be right back after each song finishes. So enjoy Viri.
I know these pathways like the back of my hand. I walk them almost every day. There's someone out there who is waiting for me if I sit very patiently. Out in these woods surrounding Flat Rock Brook, where scarlet tanagers show off. A reddish thrush is skulking under some trees, where I'm expecting us to meet. Flat Rock Brook, Flat Rock Brook. Viri, come listen to me, let me talk to you. I know that you are only passing through. So for just a week or 2, it's me and you. I'll take the red trail to McFadden's pond. Phoebes will nest under the bridge. But summer's bounty is still springtime's dream of wildflowers and honeybees. Come listen to me, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. I know that you are only passing through. So for just a week or 2, it's me and you. So many spots are marked by memories of birds, but one is dearest to my heart. It's where that thrush would hop right up to my feet, as words would carry in the breeze. Flat Rock, Flat Rock, Flat Rock, Flat Rock Brook. Viri, come listen to me, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. I know that you are only passing through. So for just a week or 2, it's me just a week or two, it's me and you. So for just a week or two, it's me and you.
So I hope you enjoyed that. I just want to say that there would be no CD at all without my husband, Bob. He did everything from play guitar on all of the songs. He produced it, he co-engineered it, and he mixed it with me, all in our home studio in the basement, which is called Chrome Top Studios, but it's also known as Bald Eagle Studios. So this is Bob mixing one of the songs. And this is Bob rocking out on the guitar. So as is the case with most of the songs on this record, I could hear all the instrumentation of the next song in my head. Like everything was fully formed in my head, but the one problem is that I only play drums. I do not play any stringed or keyed instruments. So as was the case for every single song on the record, I had to sing the songs to Bob, and we had to figure out the chords for each song. It was a painstaking process, but we got through it. We're still married. But after recording the rough mixes of the songs to give to the band members to learn for the actual recording process, I was very happy that they were all coming together as I heard them in my head. This is me playing drums for the demos. I did not play drums on the record for real because I hadn't played drums in like 20 years. So we spent a long time on the demo process, and it really paid off in the end because at that point, like everything was worked out as much as it could be. This was the actual drummer for the record. His name is Sim Kane. He's just fabulous. So we were thrilled to have him as the drummer. So I like to describe the album as a bird-themed rock and roll record, but in truth, there's quite a variety of styles of music. And I wrote this next song specifically with the Carpenters in mind. I love Karen Carpenter's voice, and I have like a low natural range like she did. So I knew I wanted real horns on this song, and we hired a wonderful trio to play on it. They also played on a few other songs, but this is Ken, Garrett, and Eric, and they were just amazing. And this is our fabulous bass player, Ray Nissen. I know you're there, Ray. What's up? And Ray, not only did he play bass on the entire record, but he wrote and arranged all the horn parts and these string parts on this next song that you're going to hear, which is called Northern Lapwing. So this is just all of us in the studio one day, hanging out, making music. This song, Northern Lapwing, is about my trip to see those three birds that were in New Egypt, New Jersey a few years back. I'm sure a lot of you went to see those birds. It was a pretty amazing sight. So I feel like of all the songs on the record, this is the one I am most proud of because I had a super specific vision for it, and it came out like exactly how I wanted it. And that was in huge part to Ray and his wonderful arrangements and stuff. So I'm playing this for you now. I will be back after the song finishes. Enjoy Northern Lapwing.
Where farmers wonder why so many people have appeared on muddy roads that are never clear. don't know when they'll fly away. Every person on this highway drives by unaware of three birds that flew so far, yet magically here they are. Blackbirds descend with views that cameras crave. These images will not be saved, not be saved. So in your mind's eye, you have to remember you have seen those green and purple feathers, and you wondered whether or not they'd stay all day. Have you heard? Have you heard? There are
You enjoyed that? So this might be the weirdest way I came up with a song for this record. As a matter of fact, for any song in my entire life, possibly. So you know when you're having like a minor procedure and they put you under twilight anesthesia? So I was coming out of the twilight and I could hear like this whooshing sound past my ears very loudly. And I could almost like feel wind blowing on my face very hard. And I felt like I was airborne. And I looked over to my right and I saw a bald eagle. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I looked to my left and I was like, there's another bald eagle. So I was thinking, I am an eagle. And there was then some sort of disturbance going on at the same time that I was all happy. Somebody was shaking me and there was a hand on me. And I look up and I'm all of a sudden awake. And there was a nurse looking over me and I just looked up at her and I yelled, oh my God, I'm an eagle. And she like kind of just looked at me very callously and said, have some juice, honey, like wake up. Boy, that was really a downer to realize that I wasn't an eagle. But the one good thing to come out of it was that I got a song called Bald Eagle. This one is just me on vocals layered upon each other. There's no instruments at all. And it's like a 2-minute song. So I'm going to play that for you. But I wanted to show you, this is my notebook, my very messy notebook. And you can see how much I rewrote things and changed things and worked out the chords. And this is literally, this was for every song. This is not all the songs because the book is sort of halfway open. But some songs did not make the album. Like here is one example, Kiss Kitty. If the song didn't come to me within a few weeks or so, it did not make the album. I felt like if it was just coming to me and I was channeling this kind of energy, the song would write itself, and they did. So without further ado, here's Bald Eagle. Again, it is just me on vocals layered on top of each other. There's no instruments, so enjoy, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes because it's short.
I'm here, I've appeared, no memory of where I've been, don't know where I'm going to, but I am soaring, soaring. I do. All these things I do. I know all of these things because I am an eagle too. Ah,
So one super cool thing about having played music for so long is that I've been fortunate enough to be in other bands with some very super talented people. And one of those one of the peoples is this gentleman here, Charlie Giordano, who is in Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band. And Charlie plays a mean accordion and keyboard, and he was kind enough to play on 3 songs on my album. So this next song, Northern Mockingbird, which I'm just going to play a little clip from, it actually almost didn't make it on the record, but because we had finished the 11 demos, and that was such a laborious process that I just didn't want to do one more. But this song just would not go out of my head, and I knew I had to write it. It just had to be written. So I'm really glad it was, actually, because it turned into one of my favorite songs on the album. The melody came to me first, melody of the chorus, and then the simple refrain of the lyrics for that chorus followed, and then the whole thing I just crafted the verses around the repetitive chorus. So Charlie played keyboards on this one, and it was really the icing on the cake because it just fit perfectly with Bob's guitar work. And as Charlie was recording this, he told me I told him that I loved it so much because it sounded like he was playing like Elton John would play. And he actually told me that Elton John's one of his favorite piano players. And so I had this subconscious kind of thought for this song that I did want it to sound like Elton John. And my wonderful friend, Marianne Emerson, added her backup vocals with mine. She's got a super beautiful tone in her voice. Hi, May. And it reminds me of the early Elton John backing vocalist. So I knew we'd mesh really well on this one, and we did. So I'm just going to play you a little snippet of this song so you can hear Charlie's keyboards and the vocals and how they kind of work together. So I'll be back in about 40 seconds.
no, please don't think that I am mad. No, please don't think that I am crazy. Don't think I'm mad, don't think I'm mad, because I'm not. Because I'm not. Because I'm not. Because I'm not.
So another song that Charlie played on is called Common Loon, and I'm going to play a little clip from that next. So he played actually 2 accordions on this tune, and look at how gorgeous these instruments are. I mean, they're so stunning. And this is a photo of Charlie actually recording Common Loon. He was playing the song right there. All right, so this is the deal behind this song. This is based very loosely, super loosely, on my family from the part of my family from northern Maine, my mother's side of the family. My great-grandparents, which are these 2 fabulous people right here, they had 10 kids, as you can see, and they lived in Fort Fairfield and also in Presque Isle in Aroostook County in Maine. I still have a family there. It's very beautiful up there, but it's rough. Even today, the weather's cold and the snow can be 20 feet high even into April. It's it's a beautiful country, but it's really harsh too. And I always just think about how they had 10 kids, just first of all, 10 kids. And they worked at a mill in the late 1800s. And then they took over the family's potato farm in the early 1900s. They spoke mostly French because they were from Quebec. They had no electricity, and they had 1 outhouse located in their barn. So that seems pretty hard compared to what we live in today, the circumstances that we have. And And so the loon coming into this is just because I always think of the loon's call. It reminds me of like the lakes up in Maine. You always hear loons calling. So I kind of use that haunting imagery for the choruses of this song. And I wanted to show you one thing about this is my grandfather, by the way, when he was 15. And this is my grandfather. And this is my great grandma at her 100th birthday party up in Maine. This is me. She lived to be 102. And one of the greatest, this is like tough stock people. This is the greatest quote I've ever heard almost. This is exactly from my great grandma. She said, to live to be 100, a person should live to be 99 and then be careful. What? That's the best quote ever. Okay. So here is the song, well, just a clip from the song Common Loon. So you can hear the accordions blending in with the music. I wanted to just show that, let you hear that. So here we go.
My baby will marry the love of her life. She's been a great daughter. She'll be a good wife. When she disappears, nothing's keeping me here. Oh, caribou, you're cold in the long dark night, and the loon's cries echo on the water, and the loon's cries echo.
I was so very fortunate that a young and talented artist named Megan Massa agreed to create my album cover art for the Black-throated Blue Warbler, which is actually one of the songs on the record. Meg, you might know Megan's work because she's the artist who designed the American Birding Association's 2019 Bird of the Year. So it's the red-billed tropic bird that she designed. So if you have your little ABA stickers, that is Megan's artwork. She designs most of her pieces digitally. So after she heard some of the music that I sent her, she was coming up with like a few rough concepts that we were bouncing off each other about different birds for the record. And I felt like this idea of the black-throated blue sitting high above a town, like on a crisp fall night, getting ready to migrate, really captured the essence of my music. I wanted her to like capture the sentiment that there are birds, like no matter what humans do, we go about our business, they go about their business. They live, they die, they breed, they do whatever they do, whether we watch them or not, you know? And kind of, that's where the title of the record came from, There Are Birds. But Megan also pointed out another theme running through my lyrics, which I didn't really realize until she told me. It's the passage of time. I hadn't really been conscious of it, but she was able to like marry that idea with my idea. And I really couldn't be happier with the beautiful artwork. That it was fabulous. So I'm just going to show you a few slides now from recording days, and then just play one more song for you. And we'll do a little Q&A at the end if you like. So this is me just singing vocals for something. I don't know what song I was recording here, but it's a pretty cool microphone, hey? This is one of the first days that we began recording. This is our drummer Sim and our bass player Ray, and we were trying to get the basic tracks done, and that is when you record. Everyone's playing, but you're really concentrating on getting the bass and the drums recorded, because from there you layer all the instruments. And this is our engineer Scott Anthony, fabulous, and Bob, of course. This is us goofing around, me and Sim and Ray. Here's a really cool shot of the studio. You can see this is Bob's control room area, and this is where we recorded a lot of the stuff in the center room. And here's like another angle looking straight at the drums. This is when I was recording percussion for the song Ruby Crown Kinglet. And I played all of these percussive instruments on that song. I laid them out so I would remember. This is me waiting around. There's a lot of waiting when you're recording. You wouldn't think so, but there's a lot of waiting, just kind of downtime. And Ray's noodling around on the guitar back there. All right, so this is when we were recording background vocals with some wonderful friends and amazing singers. I'm in both of these women's bands. This is Deborah Berg and this is Cheryl Marshall. So I told you that Ruby Crown Kinglet was the first song I wrote for the record, and it was, but this song's lyrics, which this is going to be Migration Is Over that I'm going to play for you. It actually started coming to me about 5 or 6 years ago when I was bird watching in Central Park. It was like one of the last days of spring, and it was almost like 80 degrees out, and it was quiet. There were like no birds around. And I looked around and I was like, you know, there are totally more bird watchers here than there are birds. So that was the genesis of this song. And I like to describe it as a cross between the Andrews Sisters meets the theme from the Family Guy TV show. So jazz hands, everybody, get ready. So this is, vocals are me, Deborah, and Cheryl. And this is, that was from the day that we recorded this. I'll play this for you and then we'll sort of wrap it up. So enjoy, Migration Is Over, and I will be back soon.
Cape May warblers dance in your dreams, Wilson's Prairie, Tennessee. I'll meet you there in Central Park, 6 o'clock sharp. We'll begin in strawberry fields with the songs of warblers filling our ears. Let's go listen what's around, not a sound. Maybe they've flown down into the ramble. Starting up here is always a gamble. I might have heard Parula again, but let's discuss its pronunciation. We're gonna find that one good bird in the park. If it kills us or not, we're gonna find that one good bird in the park. If it kills us or not, on a day when it seems that your prospects are narrow, make sure that you add your day list house sparrow. You're listening hard for barbering pinkers, but all that you hear are skulking tea drinkers. We'll find that one good bird in the park. If it kills us or not, we're gonna find that one good bird in the park. It's gonna kill us. What's that constant knocking sound? It's just a cuckoo walking around, and it doesn't have feathers. When there are more birders than there are birds, it's May 29th, or haven't you heard? When the Blackpoll warblers have departed and migration's over before it even started. If you were from the United Kingdom, you would spot that robin and be happy to see him. But this isn't a day where we're all feeling groovy. This isn't the Central Park bird watching movie. It's one of those days at 10 a.m. when you want to start it all over again, because summer's almost here.
All right. Thank you for joining me, everyone. And super special thank you to Penny, Kevin, Mike, Kurt, and Jim. And Penny, we will miss you. And we thank you for all your years of service with Fyke. And I want to give a special shout out to my friends Janice and Andrea and my whole Friday night Zoom group who are watching right now. Thank you. I love you all. And to my husband, Bob. And I just want to say hi to my dad and Shelly and my mom too. All right, listen, people, if you want to get the record, you can just simply go to therearebirds.com. And I am running a sale. I'm slashing prices for the next 7 days. The CD will only be $9. Usually it's $15. And a digital download will only be $5. Usually it's $10. So slashing prices for Fyke members or anyone watching this presentation. Just go to therearebirds.com and you can purchase it. If you'd rather send me a check, you can, oops, let me go back. If you'd rather somebody is sick, you can email me and we will trade addresses. Okay, that's fine to do as well. So thank you again so much for joining me. If you want to stick around and do a Q&A, we can totally do that, right, Kev? Think we can?
Stephanie, maybe you said and I missed it. Were all these songs recorded in your home? Is that a home?
They
studio?
were. That is correct. They were all recorded in our basement studio, which is Chrome Top Studios, also known as Bald Eagle Studios. Yes. And Bob, actually, like I said, Bob did the majority of all the processes for this recording, you know, for producing, you know, engineering, mixing, everything like that. Yes.
Wow. I'm looking at the Q&A. I see lots of people saying how much they enjoy it. I don't see.
Thank you.
I say Jim would like to remind everyone that we'll be selling Celery Farm caps and T-shirts on Sunday at the Celery Farm, since we're in a sales pitch
Oh yes.
kind of mode. But if you need your Celery Farm T-shirt, Sunday in the parking lot.
Yay!
Yay! That was really interesting extra perspective on those songs. When the Karen Carpenter thing, if I didn't look at the screen, looked away, and yes, I could hear Karen Carpenter there. That was pretty cool.
Thank you. That's very kind. Because I'm not comparing myself to her greatness because she's one of a kind. But like that's my, you know, she's one of my idols. So I really wanted to. You know, like
that was one of many things where I would never have picked that up from just,
yeah.
You know, I've had the download for a long time, you know, but play it, I don't always focus on every line of the lyrics.
Yeah.
The way we've been doing tonight, which I think really adds a lot more depth. You understand the songs a lot more. The Lapwing thing was really cool. I love that.
Thank you. That was a great trip. I remember like it was yesterday going down to see. I bet a lot of our Fyke people have went to see those birds. Did you go see those birds?
I did not, no. I've seen big flocks of them in the UK, and I didn't really know what they were. And I asked some guy with binoculars, "What are those?" And he looked at me like, "Like you asked someone here, what's that turkey? What's that thing?" And it's a turkey vulture.
Right.
Duh.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite sightings, that's for sure. But yeah, if anyone, I don't know if anybody, I don't have the screen thing up, but if anyone, oh yeah, here's anything. But
from Carol. Carol Flanagan says her favorite song is Emily. Can you tell us about that?
And Diane says Blue Jay, play Blue Jay. Oh, I wish I could play it. Diane, I'm sorry, but I don't have it. The files, like they won't. Like this is like all in one weird kind of keynote presentation, so I don't have it. You'll have to get the record. I know you have it.
That's the only way to hear it. You have to buy the record.
Yeah, but Emily, Carol, is actually called, the proper title is House Sparrow, but yes, Emily is it is also known as Emily. That story is a true story too. Bob was mowing the lawn. This is in Englewood. Bob was mowing the lawn and he saw this little female sparrow on the ground. And he picked her up and we put her in a little box, and she looked like, I really didn't think she was going to make it. She looked pretty bad, but we brought her inside into our house. Like we were making an addition on the house at that time. So it was sort of like this janky, like half built addition. And we brought her inside and I sat there with her for like 2 hours, just like singing to her and talking to her because as everyone knows, I have to talk to everything. And yeah, she started slowly recovering, and I gave her a little food and water, and she started flapping around. And so we figured she'd just fly right out the window, but she didn't seem to want to go. So she started flying around the room, and Bob kind of got her on a long broom, I believe it was, or some long stick. And we stuck her out the window really far out. So we figured she'd fly away, but she like turned around and looked at us as if she was saying thank you. And then she went and flew away and joined, like there was like 10 house sparrows on a tree, and she went and joined them. So I feel like she was totally thanking us, which is so it was so cool. That's the story of House Sparrow, of Emily. She was a real bird. And that's, do we have any more questions or don't? Thank you, Patty. Aw, Diane, okay, if you go just to therearebirds.com, you can get it there, or you can email me if you want. I'm going to put the email address up again now too. That's, you can email me, or you can go to therearebirds.com. Janice, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Trust the passerines. Thank you, Meme. Thank you, everybody, really, so sweet.
Thanks,
Very
Stephanie. That was wonderful, and I loved all the behind the scenes stuff on the making of it. That's just fantastic.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Mike and Sue.
Stephanie, I just love your voice, your stories, your energy, and your joy. And my cat loved watching and listening to you. Thank you so much.
Yay for kitties. Thank you, Penny. Thank you so much. We'll talk. I'll miss you, but we'll talk.
Thank you. I'll miss you.
Have a wonderful summer, everyone. Stay well, and we'll see you in September.
Take care, everybody. Mwah. Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks, Steph.
Bye.
Bye.